Once again, now state that yes, I apologize. Hey out there in internet land, this is Hogan Sheik coming at you yet again. Going to be doing part 5 of my sword making tutorial. Now some of you are going, dude, why is there a part 5? You've already covered the different types, you've gone over the cores, you've gone over the foam. Hell, you've even covered the covers. What else is there? Today I'm going to be talking about weight and balance. Now before I get into these, I do want to state again, my opinions, this is what works for me. Also, the numbers I am giving are based for boffer weapons. Yes, the principles do hold true for real weapons, but these are gauged for boffer combat. Remember that. Now, first thing I'm going to be talking about is balance. So we're going to pull out my good old reliable sword. This is the sword, well, a friend made it, and he gave it to me. I generally use it as a loner blade. Just so you're aware, it's a PVC core. It is the blue foam used as the blade in 3 simple layers, and it has a tube stock covering. No, it is not the most beautiful weapon in the world, but it works. So, once you have your weapon, you need to decide where the pivot point is going to be. Now, what's the pivot point? With any sword, you should be able to take your hand, go as such, and then place the blade somewhere on there, and it will bounce perfectly. Now, there is a thing that's called the neutral zone. No, it was not taken from Star Trek. But what the neutral zone is about anywhere from 5 to 7 inches from the handguard. That area of the blade right there is known as a neutral zone. If you were to put a blade right, if you put your hand right there, and the sword on top of it, it bounced there, your sword is known as a neutral blade. I'll be getting into what that means here in a little bit. If you have it bouncing with less than 5 inches from the handguard, that means you have a hilt heavy blade. Not a bad term. Likewise, if you have it past 7 inches and it is bouncing, you have what's known as a blade heavy blade. What do these mean? An oriental weighted blade or a hilt heavy blade means you are going to have precision and control over speed and strength. Now these are the merits of the sword, not the person using it. Don't be commenting going, well, I can still hit real hard. Yeah, we can all hit hard. Well, I can still, yeah, they're boffer weapons, dude. It's not that hard. But you get more precision and control when the weight is on this side. Likewise, on this side, you get more speed and strength as opposed to precision and control. If you're in the middle, well, you have both of them. None too high, none too low, they're about even. When it is by the hilt, it's known as an Oriental styled weapon. When it is by the blade, it is known as a European styled weapon. These are accustomed to how the different fighting styles and cultures evolved and how they elected to use weapons. Now, the question is, how do I decide which one I want? I can't help you with that. You yourself need to decide on which style is going to be better for you. Best I could suggest is make all 3 and try. Well, then the next question is, how do I balance it? This is why I like to use hollow cores. People have told me, oh no, use solid. Yeah, but then you can't do this stuff. You go, you get a bolt. Make sure it fits into the core, by the way. I've known people who have not done that. Now, you get Gorilla Glue. You slide your bolt in there. You make sure it's coated. You let it sit. The bolt is not coming out. If you put it in the handle side or the hilt side, of course, the weight's going to be over here, making it an Oriental styled weapon. Now, if you feel the urge to put one on this side, guys, cut off the head, coat it with Gorilla Glue, shove that rod in there, and actually shove it in like 2 or 3 inches past the actual tip. It'll put the weight over here, and you also don't have the metal sticking out. Metal sticking out is a bad thing, remember that. Depending on where you want that balance, will tell you what bolts lengthwise to put in. Now I will tell you guys, this is a guessing game. It is partial feeling to know, well, I need this bolt and this length bolt, or no, I need this length bolt. You gotta feel it. It's something that cannot be explained. It's something you have to experiment with. Now, weight. What does weight have to do with a weapon? Well, pretty simple. If it weighs too much, you're going to get tired. It's also very, very hard to control. And, well, it's kind of hard to get that speed up because you have to hold the weapon itself. Very annoying, very bothersome. Now, admittedly, you can use the 13th Warrior concept of grow stronger. Not always. Now, if it's too light, it's going to be considered to be a feather sword or a feather blade. They're light, they're fairy wands. You're not going to have that power when you hit. You may have excellent control, but you're not going to have that power. You're not going to have that exact precision of what you want. So it is a guessing game. I have figured out that for me, the best weight is between 24, well no, actually as low as 12 to 36 ounces. Now, how on earth do you know how much the weapon weighs? Put your sword core onto a scale. Put the foam, already cut out, onto the scale. Then you put bolts on and find out how much things weigh. This is a scale. You can get this at like Bed Bath & Beyond for 10 bucks. They come in incredibly handy. Also, there are some groups out there that do require weapons to weigh a certain amount. As this is battery powered, you can take it with you. Again, it is a guessing game. You need to figure out how much each material is going to weigh, and generally it's safe to go over. If you're trying to get a blade to weigh, we're going to say 24 ounces, it is better to go over by a fraction of an ounce than under a fraction of an ounce. I know it's weird, but it's a safer bet to do it that way. Now, once again, before you start implementing and using these concepts and styles and stuff, do make sure to check with your group for what is and is not allowed, as well as what is and isn't legal. I know there are some groups out there where they will scream bloody murder if you have a weapon with a bolt glued into it. So be sure to check it out. If you're not allowed to, you can get really creative with a lot of rolls of heavy duct tape. What your end goal is to have a weapon that when you are holding it feels like an extension of your arm. I know that sounds weird. I know it sounds zen, but believe me, once you have a weapon like that in your hand, you know it. I'm going to leave you with that for right now. I'll be getting into more tutorials. Yeah, there's actually more. Crazy, ain't it? Here in a few days. Until then, please leave a comment. Give me some stars. God knows I could use them. Other than that, guys, have a good week. Adios.